Shabbat Shalom, good morning. Oh, I'm not sure if our microphone is working. Is our microphone working now? No? I'm not sure if is the microphone on? It's on. Okay, as long as it's on, that's fine, because otherwise on the streaming they can't hear anything. So you might be able to still hear me because I can just speak up, but that won't help for the streaming. So Shabbat Shalom, wonderful to see all of you here this morning. You should all have a copy of the new liturgy, which is the book we'll be using this morning, and we'll begin our service on page 2 with Ma Tovu, and maybe we'll see. We've been practicing the round. Maybe the choir can kick us off, and then maybe we can do it in a round. Brian, will you kick us off with Ma Tovu? We might have to practice a bit more. Yeah, well, we did the anarchist version of it. But Ma Tovu, how lovely it is to be here together. And on the next page, on page 3, we sing together Elohai Neshama. Elohai Neshama Shenatata bi Tehorai. Elohai Neshama Shenatata bi Tehorai. Elohai Neshama Shenata Tabi Tehora Tehorai. Ata verata, ata yetzarta, ata nefachta bi. ואתה משמרה בקרבי, ואתה עתיד לתלה ממני לחיי עולם. כל זמן שהנשמה בקרבי, מודה אני לפניך, אדוני אלוהי ואלוהי דורותי, ריבון כל המעשים, אדון כל הנשמות. ברוך אתה אדוני, אשר בידו נפש כל חי, ורוח כל בשר איש. We continue on page 5 with this new version of the Birkot HaShachar, the blessings of the morning. As it says in the gray box, there's a custom to recite 100 blessings a day. So the rabbis came up with a whole set of blessings to already say in the morning to make the task easier. And here in this new liturgy, we are offering a new set of blessings. So let us read them slowly together so that we can get used to the Hebrew. Nevarech et ein hachayim. משנה הבריות. נברך את עין החיים, שעשתה כולנו יחידות סגולה. נברך את עין החיים, מקור דעתנו ורגשנו. נברך את עין החיים, מקור חירותנו ואחריותנו. נברך את עין החיים, המחדשת בכל יום תמיד מעשה וראשית. נברך את עין החיים, אשר נתנה לשכבי בינה, להבחין בין יום ובין לילה. On the next page, ברוך שמה, ברוך שמה והיה העולם, ברוך הוא, ברוך עושה וראשית, ברוך אומר ועושה, ברוך גוזר ומקיים, ברוך מרחם על הארץ, ברוך מרחם על הבריות, ברוך חי לעד וקיים לנצח, ברוך פודה ומציל, ברוך שמו, בשבחות וזמירות נגדל לך ונפארך, יחיד חי העולמים, ברוך אתה אדוני, Melech mehulal batishbachot. We'll sing Psalm 150 on page 7 together, the next page. Yeah, Hallelu el bekacho, Hallelu birkia uzo, Hallelu bigavurota, Hallelu kerov gudlo, Hallelu, Hallelu betzirka shofar, Hallelu, Hallelu benevel bechino, Hallelu betov umachon, Hallelu b'diminim v'chogav, Hallelu, Hallelu b'tiltelei shama, Hallelu, Hallelu b'tiltelei teruah, kol haneshama tehalel, tehalel, Yah. Hallelujah. And on the next page, the rabbis connected the thought of breathing, of breath, neshama, with the idea of the soul, which is also neshama. And to really illustrate that connection, they referred back to the story in Genesis chapter 2, the second creation story of the creation of human beings and Adam becoming alive. So let's read on the bottom of page 8b that short passage from Genesis chapter 2. Such is the story of heaven and earth when they were created. When the eternal God made earth and heaven, when no shrub of the field was yet on earth, and no grasses of the field had yet sprouted, because the eternal God had not sent rain upon the earth, and there was no one to till the soil, but a flow would well up from the ground and water the whole surface of the earth. The eternal God formed the dam from the dust of the earth. God blew into his nostrils the breath of life, and Adam became a living being. On the next page. Ishtabach shemech la'ad mekor chayenu ruach chazaka ukdosha b'shamayim uba'aretz ki lachna shchina mekor chayenu v'chayei doroteinu שירה ושפחה, הלל וזמרה, ברכות והודאות, מעתה ועד עולם, ברוכה את יה, רוח מלאה תשפחות, הם ההודעות, הן הנפלאות, המזמרת שירי זמרה, שכינה בתוכנו, חי העולמים. We rise for the Baruch. Baruchu et Adonai Hamvorach. Baruch Adonai Hamvorach, le'olam va'ed. Bless the source of being which is blessed. We bless the source of being throughout all time and space. And please be seated. Let us continue together on page 11b in the English. Blessed are you, eternal source of all, forming light and creating darkness, establishing peace and creating the whole. As you shed light upon the earth, your compassion brings light to all who live on it. In your goodness, you renew creation each day, ceaselessly bringing forth a myriad of forms, each a unique marvel. With wisdom you have made them all, filling the earth. As your light shines within and around them, They sing of your glory. Blessed are you, eternal source of all, continually bringing forth light. On the bottom of page 12b. You gave us your Torah out of love, a Torah of life. But some of the words of the Torah do not give us life. Perhaps you did not say those words and they were put in your mouth by unwise men. Or perhaps they simply do not mean what men have said they mean. Your love is deeper than words, stronger than laws. Help us hold fast to your love and the words of life in your Torah. We rise together for the Shema. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kavod Malchuto Leolam Va'ed. Baruch Shem Kavod Malchuto Leolam Va'ed. V'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha v'chol levavecha v'chol nafshecha v'chol meodecha v'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi metzavecha hayom al levavecha v'shinantam levanecha v'dibarta bam v'shivtecha beveitecha uvlechtecha v'derech uv'shochbecha uv'kumecha u'kshartam le'od al yadecha v'hayu letotafot bein einecha u'chtavtam al mezuzot beitecha u'visharecha. May be seated. We'll just take a few moments of silent reflection, in which time you can read one of the poems on page 14 or at the bottom of page 13. למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם אמת. The next page. Short passage by Israel Matuk. Truth is not the best loved of virtues, and yet it is one of the noblest, as it is perhaps the hardest of them all. It needs courage and resolution and strength of will. It must be loved for its own sake, or it will not be practiced. It is true that you existed before anything else and will exist forever. We have no freedom that does not come from you. You continually bring us out of the confines of soul-destroying slavery. With great joy we sing as Moses, Miriam, and all Israel did before you at the shores of the sea. Page 16. Chabaylim Adonai, mi kamocha nedam hakodesh, nora tehilot osefele. שירה חדשה, שיבחו גאולים לשמך על שפת הים, יחד כולם הודו והמליכו ואמרו, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד. צור ישראל, קומה בעזרת ישראל, גואלנו אדוני, צבאות שמו, כבוש ישראל, ברוך אתה As we turn to the Amidah, I just wanted to read a short passage by the author Amos Oz, who died yesterday, and invite you to reflect a little bit during your Amidah on what Amos Oz is teaching us about Judaism. He says, Judaism is not a package deal. It is a heritage. And a heritage is something that you can play with. You can decide which part of the heritage you allocate to your living room and which part goes to the attic or the basement. This is the legitimate right of every heir. So as we look at the ancient words of the Amidah and some of the more modern ones in this liturgy, maybe you reflect for yourself a little bit on what that part of the heritage, what part you have made as part of your living room, as part of your sanctuary here in the synagogue, and which part of Judaism as a heritage you'd rather send to the attic or banish to the basement. Although it's important to note that what he doesn't say, what Amos Oz doesn't say, is you shouldn't kick them to the curb. You shouldn't, you put them in the attic or the basement because maybe one day somebody wants to dig them out again, those parts of the heritage. So instead of kicking them to the curb, maybe we'll send some things up to the attic. And so I invite you to stand, and as we turn to our Amidah, also reflect on those words of Amos Oz. Adonai sefatai tiftachu fi tehillatcha. Adonai sefatai tiftachu fi tehillatcha. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu v'Elokei avotenu v'imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim v'Koneh Hakol, v'Zocher Chasdei Avot v'Imahot, U'Mevi Geula Livnei V'neihem, Leman Shemo Be'ahava, Melech Ozer U'Moshiach U'Magen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham ve'ezrat Sarah. את גיבורה לעולם שדי, מחיה מתים את רבה להושיע. משיבה הרוח ומורידה הגשם, מזריחה השמש ומורידה הטל. מחכלת חיים בחסד, מחיה מתים ברחמים רבים, צומחת נופלים ורופאה חולים, ומתירה אסורים, ומקיימת אמונתה לשני עפר. מי כמוך בעלת גבורות, ומי דומה לך גבורה, ומטעם חיה ומעט צמיחה ישועה. ונאמנת עד להחיות מתים, ברוכה עד שדי מחיה המתים. נקדש את שמך בעולם, כשם שמקדישים אותו בשמי מרום, ככתוב על יד נביאך. קדוש, 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 אדוני צבאות, מלוך כל הארץ, כבודו מלא עולם. ברוך כבוד אדוני ממקומו. From your hidden place, majestic one, shine forth in your reign of goodness, for we wait in hope for you. ימלוך אדוני לעולם, אלוהייך ציון, לדור ודור. From generation to generation we tell of your greatness, and to all eternity we will proclaim your holiness. Your praise, O our God, shall never depart from our lips. Blessed are you, Eternal One, the Holy God. You may be seated. We sing together Yismechu on page 22. במלכותך, ישמחו במלכותך, שומרי שבת וקוראי עונג. עם קדשי שביעי, עם קדשי שביעי, כולם יספעו וידנגו מטובך. והשביעי רצית בו וקידשתו, והשביעי רצית בו וקידשתו, חמדת ימים אותו קראת, זכר למעשה בראשית. Let us continue together in English. Our God and God of our ancestors, may our rest on this day be pleasing in your sight. Sanctify us by your commandments and make us loyal to your teaching. Satisfy us with your goodness, gladden us with your salvation, and purify our hearts that we may serve you in truth. In your gracious love, Eternal One, let the holiness of your Sabbath enter our hearts, and may all Israel who hallow your name be exalted by its peace. Blessed are you, O God, for the holiness of the Sabbath. V'tzeh Adonai Eloheinu b'amcha Yisrael, v'tfilatenu b'ahava tekabel, v'tehi leratzon tamid avodat Yisrael amecha, baruch atah Adonai, she'otecha levadecha b'yira na'avot. Modim anachnu lach, שאתה הוא אדוני אלוהינו ואלוהי אבותינו לעולם ועד. צור חיינו, מגן ישנו, אתה הוא לדור ודור. נודה לך ונספר תהילתך, על חיינו המסורים בידיך, ועל נשמותינו הפקודות לך, ועל ניסיך שבכל יום עמנו, ועל נפלאותיך וטובותיך, שבכל עת ערב ובוקר וצהריים. ברוך אתה אדוני, הטוב שמך, ולך נאה להודות. שלום, שים שלום, שים שלום, טובה וברכה, חן וחסד ורחמים, עלינו ועל כל ישראל עמך, שים שלום, שים שלום. May I rest in peace. I who am still living say, may I have peace in the rest of my life. I want peace right now while I'm still alive. I don't want to wait like that pious man who wished for one leg of the golden chair of paradise. I want a four-legged chair right here, a plain wooden chair. I want the rest of my peace now. I have lived out my life in wars of every kind, battles without and within, close combat, face to face. The face is always my own, my lover face, my enemy face. Wars with the old weapons, sticks and stones, blunt axe, words, dull ripping knife, love and hate, and wars with newfangled weapons, machine gun, missile, words, landmines exploding, love and hate. I don't want to fulfill my parents' prophecy that life is war. I want peace with all my body and all my soul. Rest me in peace. Baruch atah Adonai, oseh shalom. Let's take some time for silent prayer. ליבי, לפניך, בהגיון ליבי, לפניך, אדוני צורי וגואלי, אדוני צורי וגואלי. עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ועל כל יושבי תבל. אמרו אמן. We now turn to our Torah service, and if I could ask those who have mitzvot in the Torah service to join me on the upper bima. We're on page 27. Ooh, very loud. Assemble the people, men, women, and children, and the strangers in your cities, to hear and learn to revere the Eternal One your God, and observe faithfully all the precepts of this Torah, and let their children who do not yet know it hear, that they too may learn the Eternal One your God. And please rise. We can sing Ein Kamocha. Chavalim Adonai, ve'ein k'masecha, malchutcha malchut, kol olamim u'shatecha b'chol oladon. Adonai melech, Adonai malach, Adonai imo, le'olam va'ed. Apologies to the ones who are not used to our regular Siddur and didn't find the words in this one. We are in the middle of page 28. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Chad Eloheinu, Gadol Adonenu, Kadosh Shemo. Gadlu l'Adonai iti, uneromamo Shemo yachdav. Eloheinu, Gadol Adonenu, mitzvotecha, ve'yached levaveinu, li'ahava u'ira et shemecha. Eloheinu, v'toratecha, v'tavek libeinu, mitzvotecha, ve'yached levaveinu, le'ahava u'ira et shemecha. You may all be seated. We're reading today Parashat Shemot. You will hear everything you ever needed to know about Parashat Shemot as part of Spencer's sermon. That's at least what he's promised me. So I don't want to spend too much time giving you a long Dvar Torah because I don't know what Spencer's going to say, so I don't want to steal anything of him. But our Torah portion, of course, begins with Ve'ele Shemot, and these are the names, recounting the names of Bnei Yisrael, of the children of Israel, the children of Jacob, and then moves to announce that a different era is dawning for Egypt. A new pharaoh has risen to the throne, and we don't learn much about this pharaoh except that he did not know Joseph. That's all we learn. It seems to be, and Rashi points this out, the medieval commentator Rashi points this out, it seems to be a very unlikely occurrence that you would find a pharaoh who actually didn't know Joseph. If Joseph really played such an important role in saving Egypt from famine and from starving the whole population to death, then probably this pharaoh should have at least known about Joseph. So what Rashi says is, well, this is a Pharaoh who doesn't care to know about Joseph. So he doesn't care to know that Joseph, and therefore his people should be rewarded, was loyal to Egypt and had always supported Egypt. And this Pharaoh just treats the Israelites as a minority that might side with the enemy. And so we hear about the Pharaoh's instruction to kill all the male babies. And hear of the heroic acts of the two midwives, Shifra and Pua, who refused to kill the male babies. So the last resort that Pharaoh can think of is that you should drown the children in the Nile. And we'll be beginning to read our story in chapter 2. So if you have the same version of the Chumash as I do, it's on page 348. It's Exodus chapter 2, 348, where we hear about Moses being born. And of course, paradoxically, instead of being drowned in the Nile, he's saved by the river Nile. So I think this is important as we hear this very familiar story to keep in mind that, of course, this is an intended reversal of fate that the Torah is teaching us about. What should happen is that these children, male Israelite babies, are all going to be drowned in the river, and instead the river saves Moses. So we're going to read from chapter 2, verse 1, the beginning of the story of Moses. And we'll be reading from here.
Baruch hu et Adonai hamavorach.
Baruch Adonai hamavorach leolam va'ed.
Baruch Adonai hamavorach leolam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bacha banu mikol ha'amim v'natan lanu et torato. Baruch atah Adonai Noten HaTorah.
Amen. וילך איש מבית לוי ויקח את בת לוי ותהר האישה ותלת בן. And there was a Levite man who took a Levite woman to be his wife, and she conceived and she bore a son. Vatereh oto ki tov hu, and she saw the son and saw that he was tov, he was good, he was well, he was going to survive, he was going to make it. Vatitzpenehu shlosha yerachim, and she hid him for 3 months. Velo yachla od hitzpino. But then came the time where she could no longer hide him. ותיקח לו תיבת גומר, ותחמרה בחמר ובצפת. And so she took a wicker basket and tarred it with like different forms of tar to make it waterproof. ותשם בה את הילד, and she placed in this wicker basket, the child. ותשם בסוף על שפת היאור, and she placed the basket in the reeds on the shores of the river Nile. ותתצב אחותו מרחוק, לדע מה יעשה לו. And his sister positioned herself slightly in the distance so that she would know what would happen to him. ותרד בת פרעה לרחוץ על היאור. And the daughter of the Pharaoh came down to wash, to bathe in the river Nile. ונערותיה הולכות על יד היאור. And her maids were walking along the side of the river Nile. ותראה את הטבע בתוך הסוף. And she saw the basket amongst amongst the reeds. And the word for the basket here, the teva, is the same word as for the ark, Noah's ark. So it's clearly, the word itself is already indicating to us that it's not just any basket, but a basket that's made to protect you from stormy waters. ותשלח את אמתה ותיקחיה. And so she sent for her maid to fetch the ark. ותפתח ותראהו את הילד, והנה נער בוכה. And opened the basket and saw there was a child, and behold, the boy was crying. ותחמול עליו, and she had pity on him. Chamol, the word chamal, you know probably from the Yom Kippur liturgy. Chamal lanu, we always say, God have mercy on us, have pity on us. So Pharaoh's daughter is moved to have compassion on the boy. Vatoma mi yaldei ha'ivrim ze. And she said, it's one of the Hebrew children, one of the Israelite children. ותאמר אחותו אל בת פרעה. And his sister came and said to the daughter of Pharaoh, האלך וקראתי לך אישה מנקת מן העבריות, ותניק לך את הילד. Shall I go and find amongst the Israelite women a nurse, a wet nurse, that she may nurse the child for you? ותאמר לה בת פרעה, and the daughter of Pharaoh said to her, לכי ותלך העלמה ותקרא את אם הילד. And so she went, and the young woman, we know her as Miriam later on. In this case, in this moment, none of the family of Moses has a name, including Moses himself. Nor does the daughter of Pharaoh. All she's known as is Bat Paro. Everyone is without names. So the young girl Miriam goes and fetches the mother of the child, Moses' mother, who we later know is called Yocheved. ותאמר לה בת פרעה, and the daughter of Pharaoh said to her, הליכי את הילד הזה והניקהו לי, and take this child from me and nurse him for me, ואני אתן את שכרך, and I will pay you wages. ותיקח האישה הילד ותניקהו, and the woman took the child and nursed him. ויגדל הילד ותביאהו לבת פרעה, and the child grew up, and so she sent him to the daughter of Pharaoh. ויהי לה לבן, and he was to her as a son. ותקרא שמו Moshe, and she called him Moses. So not the mother of Moses calls Moses Moses, but Pharaoh's daughter calls Moses Moses. ותאמר כי מן המים משitehu, and she says, because I call him Moses, because from the water have I drawn him. And mashitehu is the same root as Moshe, to draw him from the water. ויהי בימים ההם ויגדל Moshe, and it was some time later that Moses had grown up. ויצא אל אחיו, and he went out to his brethren. So it's interesting, the Torah clearly indicates he's not become one of the Egyptians. He goes out to his brethren, suggesting he goes out to see the Israelites. וירא בסבלותם, and he saw them in their laboring. Sivlotam, we know also from the Pesach Haggadah, the word. וירא איש מצרי מכה איש עברי מאחיו, and he saw an Egyptian man hit an Israelite man, a Hebrew man, one of his brethren. So again, showing clearly the allegiance that Moses has. Vayipen kol v'cho, and he looked around, so and so. Vayar ki ein ish vayach et hamitzri, vayitmenehu b'chol. And he saw there was no one about, and he hit the Egyptian, or he struck him down, and then he buried him in the sand. He hid him in the sand. Vayetze bayom hasheni, and he went out on the second day, Moses. Vehine shnei anashim ivrim nitzim. And behold, there were two Israelite men who were fighting with each other. Vayomer larasha, and Moses says to the bad one, Lama taker echa, why do you hit your fellow human being? Vayomer mi samach leish sar veshofet aleinu. Who put you? And the bad one, the offender, says, who placed you as our prince, as our master, and as judge above us? Halehorgeni ata omer kaasher horakta et hamitzri. Will you kill us like you killed the Egyptian man? Vayira Moshe, and Moses was very afraid. Vayomer achen noda hadavar. He said, probably he thought to himself, well, so it seems to be that the matter is known. Vayishma Paro het hadavar hazeh. And then Pharaoh heard about the matter. Vayivakesh laharog et Moshe. And he requested that Moses should be killed. Vayivrach Moshe mipnei Paro. And Moses fled from before Pharaoh. Vayeshev be'eretz Midian, and he settled in the land of Midian. Vayeshev al habe'er, and he settled by a well. That's where we're going to finish.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu Torah emet, v'chayei olam nota b'tochenu. Baruch atah Adonai Noten HaTorah.
Amen. And would you please rise and we sing on the bottom of page 29. Tetzei Torah, ki metzion tetzei Torah, u'davar Adonai miYerushalayim. You may be seated. And now I have to rise from the book of Isaiah, and Judy and Steve.
Please.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech olam, asher bochar b'nviim tovim, v'ratza b'divreihem, hanemarim be'emet. Baruch atah Adonai, habocher b'Torah, u'Moshe avdo, u'Yisrael amo, u'b'nviei ha'emet v'tzedek.
Just before we start this Haftarah, I just wanted to say, I want it, in the first verse there's the word medlar. It's not medlar, it's medlar. So I wondered, I knew it was something like an apple, which is what it said. I've looked it up. If you want to look online afterwards, there's a whole video telling you how to eat the thing. Should you need that. But anyway, that's what that is. And also just to say, when we get to altars, obviously it's pagan altars we're talking about. Jacob shall come to take root. Israel shall blossom and bloom. They shall fill the earth with fruit, like a meadow when it sends forth runners. Did God strike down Israel like others who were struck? Was Israel slain as God slew the slayers? God contended with them, sending them off with a hot blast, as on the day the east wind comes. See now, thus shall Jacob's sin be atoned, and this will be the result of moving his guilt. When they grind all their altar stones into powdered limestone, when none of the sacred posts and incense altars are left standing, the fortified city is empty, its homes deserted, forsaken like a wilderness. There calves graze, and there lie down and consume the branches of the trees. When the crown withers, they crack. Women come and use them to kindle fires. Since this people has no understanding, their Maker will show them no pity. Their Creator will show them no mercy. But there will come a day when from the river Euphrates to Egypt's Nile, God will beat out the peoples like grain, and you will be picked up one by one, O people of Israel. And on that day a great shofar shall be sounded. Those lost in Assyria, those banished to Egypt, shall come back and worship the Eternal on the holy mountain in Jerusalem. The Eternal, the one who saved Abraham, therefore says to the house of Jacob, no more shall Jacob be put to shame, no more shall his face grow pale. For when his children see what I am doing in their midst, they shall hallow my name, hallowing the Holy One of Jacob, and holding Israel's God in awe.
ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם, צור כל העולמים, צדיק בכל הדורות, האל הנאמן, האומר ועושה, המדבר ומקיים שכל דבריו אמת וצדק, על התורה ועל העבודה ועל הנביאים ועל יום השבת הזה, שנתת לנו, אדוני אלוהינו, לקדושה ולמנוחה, לכבוד ולתפארת. על הכל, אדוני אלוהינו, אנחנו מודים לך ומברכים אותך. יתברך שמך בפי כל חי תמיד לעולם ועד. ברוך אתה אדוני, מקדש השבת. אמן.
We're on page 31 with the prayers for our country, our community, and the state of Israel. And if you would please stand. Eternal God, whose presence fills the universe, we ask your blessing for our Sovereign Lady, Queen Elizabeth, and all the royal family, for those who govern our country, and for all who influence the quality of its national life. Make them conscious of their responsibility, and teach them to exercise it in accordance with your will, and in the interests of, in particular, the vulnerable, the poor, and marginal. May we all help to fashion in this country a society that excels in freedom and justice, tolerance and compassion, equality and diversity, so that it may be a force for righteousness and peace in the life of humanity. And let us say, Amen. Eternal God, as you blessed our ancestors in generations past, bless now this congregation, its leaders and its members, and all who enter the synagogue to meet, to study, and to pray. Comfort the sorrowing hearts among us, and heal those in anxiety or pain. We pause now to think of those we know in need of solace and healing. We think of family members, friends, and of members and friends of our community, as well as ourselves. We pray that we may all find here community and friendship, renewal of purpose and hope, a deeper understanding of our heritage and a sense of your abiding presence. Bless all congregations of the House of Israel throughout the world, that those who live under oppressive rule soon be freed, and they will unite to witness to your truth and do your will. Eternal God, our rock and redeemer, grant blessing to the state of Israel, created to fulfill an age-old dream and to be a haven for the oppressed. Inspire its leaders and citizens with faithfulness to the aims of its founders, to develop the land for the benefit of all its inhabitants, and to implement the prophetic ideals of liberty and justice. May they live in harmony with one another and in peace with their neighbors, and cause to come true once more the ancient vision that out of Zion shall go forth Torah and the word of God from Jerusalem. On page 32. Yahallelu et Shem Adonai, ki nizgav shemo levado. Do alevet b'shamayim, v'yaren keret le'amo, t'ilah lechol chasida, livnei Yisrael, am kerovo. Behold, my Torah I give to you, do not forsake it. It is a tree of life to those who hold it fast, and all who cling to it find happiness. Its ways are ways of pleasantness, and all its paths are peace. Help us to return to you, O God, then we shall return. Renew our days as in the past. May all be seated. Everyone except for Spencer. It's not yours.
No, it's not mine. No, it isn't mine. Before the service, a member of the congregation said to me, I hope it's going to be a serious and scholarly sermon and with no jokes. Bearing in mind what Leah said about Amos Oz and the Jewish heritage, of course, Jews have always had a heritage of telling jokes. Perhaps not in the sermon anyway, but at least of telling jokes. And I must make an apology as well, because I do read the Daily Mail, and I'm sorry about that, but somebody's got to do it, and I'm one who does it. On December the 12th in the Daily Mail, you may have read it, there was an article about a comedian named Konstantin Kissin, who was asked to sign an agreement which stopped him telling jokes in regard to racism, sexism, classism, ageism, ableism, whatever that is, homophobia, biphobia, transphobia, xenophobia, Islamophobia, or anti-religion, and perhaps surprisingly also anti-atheism. When I opened my Jewish Chronicle 2 days later, I was surprised to find a similar article because Mr. Kissin is apparently Jewish. He refused to sign the agreement. Now, I am not a comedian, but I became so nervous that I might offend somebody that I decided to talk about something that cannot possibly offend anyone, and that is chopped liver. So this morning, I'm going to talk to you about chopped liver. In 3 weeks' time, on January the 19th, we read in Parashat Beshalach how manna fell from heaven and fed the children of Israel in the desert. What did it taste like? Well, the Talmud said it tasted of chopped liver. Manna comes from the Hebrew word man, which comes from the Egyptian, you have to do it gutturally, ma'an, na'a, and which means liver chopped or chopped liver. Excuse me a moment. Rabbi, yes, Rabbi, I'm not to talk about chopped liver, do you say? I've got to, sorry, it might offend vegans or vegetarians or pescatarians. It might offend pescatarians as well. I'm supposed to give a Devar Torah on Parashat Shemot. Oh, very well. I suppose I'd better do that then. So, okay, well, we'll chuck out the bit that talks about chopped liver. Anyway, right, so here we have the second book of the Hebrew Bible, the Pentateuch, in Greek or English or whatever you like to call it. The first parasha of the second book is called Shemot, and this in Hebrew gives its name to the whole of the second book. In English, the second book is called Exodus, which rather more correctly describes what it's about, because it's about the Exodus from Egypt, as you know. Although the Hebrew Shemot means names, and it starts off with a list of names. It lists those who came into Egypt with Jacob. Joseph was in Egypt already, but he dies in verse 6. The main character in this Sidra is Moshe, that is Moses. Regarding Moses' parents, the parasha says very little. Leah did mention his wife, but you may not have, it was said quickly and you may not have heard it. It says there was a man of the house of Levi who took to wife a daughter of Levi. The woman conceived and bore a son. So who were they? Well, we haven't a clue. Well, actually we have, but we have to wait until the next Sidra, Va'era, where it tells us that Amram, a man of Levi, married Yocheved, his father's sister, i.e. his aunt. So he married his aunt, and she bore him Aaron and Moses. There was no mention of their older sister, but I've just read in Plout that Miriam could have had a different mother. Same father, Amram, but different mother. I had a great aunt, strangely enough, called Yocheved, but she anglicised it to Jochebed. But I didn't marry her. She was married to great uncle Charlie, not to Amram. Everyone called her Jockey, and she lived to the age of 95. She drove her little car until she was 90. But one day she backed her Mini into a shop window, and she was a bit peeved when her children stopped her from driving after that. In her latter years, she moved to a care home in Bushy, and me and her indoors went to see her. She said to the missus, "Hello, Anne, how nice to see you." Then she looked me up and down and frowned and said, "Who are you?" And I said, "I'm Spencer." And she said, "Well, you don't look like Spencer." So anyway, where was I? Oh yes, Parashat Shemot. The Israelites started out with 70 souls, it says, plus wives, children, servants, etc. So could have numbered many thousands. Well, several hundred, if not thousands. They did not have TV, so their numbers increased. The Hebrew didn't mention TV, but it says they swarmed and multiplied. And this worried Pharaoh, who set taskmasters over them, but still they multiplied. Pharaoh, as Leah read, said, "Kill all the Israelite male babies," but the midwives feared God and didn't do it. Yocheved, knowing this, hid the baby Moses. I'm going quickly because it's already been said. When she could no longer hide him, she made him an ark of bulrushes. The Hebrew for ark, as Leah said, is tevat gomer. An ark of bulrushes, the same word which is used for Noah's ark. Pharaoh's daughter found him. Pharaoh's daughter actually might have been called Bithia. Bithia, or in Hebrew, Bitia, literally meaning daughter of God, but that should really be Batya. She was called Bitya. The name of her father is not in the Bible, but rabbinic midrash makes her the daughter of one of the pharaohs of the Exodus. I'm going to leave out that bit. The Hebrew from which Moshe was named, as Leah said, was Kimin Hamayim Mushitihu. Mushitihu Moshe. You get the inference. Who was the Pharaoh when Moses was born? Well, again, we're not sure. We haven't a clue. It depends which scholar you read. It was probably Thutmose II. It could have been Ramesses II, or Merneptah, or Amenophis IV, or Ikhnaton, or Thotmes III. It all depends on which scholar you read. I'm going to miss out the bit about the Egyptian beating a Hebrew because we've heard that already. So Moses goes to Midian. He stays there for 40 years and he dwells by a well. The priest of Midian was named Reuel, who just happens to have 7 daughters, which is very convenient for Moses. He can make a choice because he's going to marry one of them. And Moses helped these girls at the well, and he marries Tzipporah, which means bird. Tzipporah's father, Reuel, was also known as Jethro, which means his excellence, so that may have been an honorific, as in Numbers he's called Chovav. Later on a messenger of the Eternal One appears in a burning bush, and of course the bush was not consumed. It never is. Moses hears a voice calling his name, Moses, Moses. And Moses says, in traditional terms, Hineni, here I am. And the voice says, don't come near. Take your shoes off, because the ground on which you're standing is holy. And this being the Bible, the voice is, of course, God's voice. I often hear a voice calling my name, Spencer, Spencer. But it's not God, it's usually the little woman who wants me to put the refuse out. And God tells Moses to get a move on, go back to Egypt and deliver his people out of the hands of the Egyptians and to bring them to the land of the Canaanites, a good and large land. And that famous phrase, El Eretz Zavat Chalav Udvash, to a land flowing with milk and honey. Tell them that, God says, tell them that Ehyeh Asher Ehyeh, another well-known phrase, I am that I am, has sent me to you. Moses returns from Midian to Egypt. They go to see Pharaoh. Moses says, let my people go. Pharaoh is peeved at this and orders the Israelites to make bricks without straw, an impossible task. Have you tried it? I have. Well, no, I haven't. When you get home, try making bricks without straw. It's not possible. We end the parasha. They're introducing the 10 plagues with which the Eternal One shall smite Egypt. I shall now say a very few words about chopped liver. My sister was recently in Costco with a non-Jewish friend. Her friend was behind a lady who had about 8 tubs of chopped liver. Her friend asked her why Jewish people like to eat chopped liver. It's a true story. It could be because in the old country, she emailed me and I said that it could be because in the old country Jews were usually very poor and so ate every bit of the chicken, including the livers, giblets, brains and other unmentionable nasty bits. It could also be because it was an Eastern Europe, German, Russian dish, and as many Jews lived in the Pale of Settlement in Russia, they latched onto the Russian style of cuisine. Borscht bears this out. I've heard chopped liver called a heart attack on a plate. Anyway, that's the short answer. Here are 2 tales from the Mishnah, which is part of the Talmud. It's in Tractate Habdicha. Anybody know what that means? Nor do I. A man goes into a delicatessen and asks, what makes you Jews so clever? The owner replies, it's because we eat so much chopped liver. Then one day he comes back, the man comes back every day and buys chopped liver. Then one day he comes in looking angry and says, for 4 months Now you've been charging me twice as much as they charge next door. You see, the owner says triumphantly, it's working already. My Uncle Jaime always ate at the same restaurant for years and years. Then one day they saw him going to the restaurant across the road. When he came back the next week, they asked, Jaime, what's the matter? Why did you go across the road to eat your chopped liver? Jaime replied, what could I do? I went to the dentist and he told me to eat on the other side. Oh, that's terrible. And that's it for this morning, and I'll end with a good... It's awful, isn't it? I'll end with a good old-fashioned Romanian Ashkenazi Amen.
Now we know more about chopped liver than we ever wanted to know. Except, of course, how to make chopped liver. Next time the recipe. Not with straw. It's quite complicated because the salting of liver has very complicated halakha, actually. Look in the Talmud. Yes. I grew up with the vegetarian-friendly version of what makes you clever, eating apple seeds. And it's the same thing where the Jew sells the apple seeds, and then the other person says, but why, I'm paying more for the apple seeds than I would pay for entire apples. And says, well, it's working already. We're going to turn to our concluding prayers on page 33, if you would stand for the Aleinu. עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצא בראשית, אשר שם חלקנו לייחד את שמו, וגורלנו להמליך מלכותו. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא, שהוא נוטה שמיים ויוסד ארץ, ומושב יקרו בשמיים ממעל, ושכינתו זו בגובהי מרומים. הוא אלוהינו אין עוד, אמת מלכנו אפס סולתו, ככתוב בתורתו, וידעת היום והשבות אל לבביך, כי אדוני הוא האלוהים בשמיים ממעל ועל הארץ מתחת אין עוד. And so our hope, Almighty God, is that all peoples abandon their empty worship of human bigotry and cease the blasphemy of calling on your name to justify oppression and hatred. Speedily turn all hearts to you and soften our human arrogance, and make the lives of all people a source of honor to your glorious name. For your rule is meant to make all your creation a reflection of your glory. As it is written, God will reign forever in all things, and it is said that Adonai will be ruler over all the earth. When that day God will be one and known to be one. Ahu yeh Adonai echad, u'shemo echad. As we turn to the Kaddish, a short reflection on top of page 37b by Hannah Senesh, before we recall the names of those whose yahrzeit falls at this time and those who died recently. There are stars whose radiance is visible on earth, though they have long been extinct. There are people whose brilliance continues to light the world, though they are no longer among the living. These lights are particularly bright when the night is dark. They light the way for humanity. And on this Shabbat we think of Anne Singer, daughter of Daphne Singer, and of Janet Soloway, the mother of Val Soloway, whose yahrzeits fall at this time. And we regret to announce the recent death of Norman Mindell, the husband of our member Shirley, father of Anna and Paul, and brother of our member Selwyn and Margaret, and of course also the Israeli author Amos Oz. Zichronam livracha. May their memory be a source of blessing to us always as we recite the words of Kaddish on page 39. Yitgadal v'yitgadash shemei Rabbah, ve'alma divrach chirotei v'yamlich malchotei, בחייכון וביומכון ובחיי דכל בית ישראל, בהרגלה ובזמן קריב אמרו אמן. יהי שמי רבה מברך לעלם ולעלמי עלמיה. יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא, ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל שמי לקודשה בריחו. לעילה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה, תושבחתה ונחמתה, דמירן בעלמה ואמרו אמן. יהי שלמה רבה מן שמיה, וחיים עלינו ועל כל ישראל ואמרו אמן. עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ועל כל יושבי תבל ואמרו אמן. May great peace descend from heaven and abundant life be granted to us and all Israel. Let us say amen. Please be seated. We're going to conclude with Yom Ze Yisrael on page 41, 41a. But just before we do, just really two announcements. They're looking a little bit into January, but we're nearly in January, really. Only a few days to go. Holocaust Memorial Day, our Holocaust Memorial Day events, which most of you know about and many of you already volunteer with, are still looking, the team is still looking for a few more volunteers. So if you could give even just 90 minutes and you have some time in the last week of January, I believe it's the last week of January this year. Let me make sure that I have the right dates. I don't seem to have the exact date. 1st of February, yeah, it's the last day is the 1st of February. Okay, yeah, so it's the last week of January. It's 27th is, but that's a Sunday, I think. So it's just after that. So if you are available and you can help out, then do get in touch either with our office or with Suzanne Hafner directly. And if you are interested in attending an event, so the Holocaust Memorial Day events where we provide a program for school children, but if you are interested in attending an event, then the Harrow Holocaust Memorial Day event is this year entitled Torn from Home and will take place on the 28th of January at 7 p.m. at the Harrow Arts Center. And it would be lovely to have a group from NPLS attending that as well. And that's me for my announcements. And we'll conclude with Yom Ze Yisrael. This is the day for Israel, light and rejoicing, Sabbath of rest. Yom Ze Yisrael, ora v'simcha, Shabbat menucha. Yom Ze Yisrael, ora v'simcha, Shabbat menucha, Shabbat menucha. Tzivita pikudim b'ma'amat Sinai, Shabbat umuadim lishmo b'chol shanai, la'aroch lefanai ma'aset ve'arucha, Shabbat menucha, Shabbat menucha, Yom Ze Yisrael, ora v'simcha, Shabbat menucha, Yom Ze Yisrael, ora v'simcha, Shabbat menucha, Shabbat menucha. חמדת הלבבות לאומה שבורה, לנפשות נחרבות נשמה יתרה, לנפש מצרה הנחה. שבת מנוחה, שבת מנוחה. יום זה לישראל אורה ושמחה, שבת מנוחה. לישראל אורה ושמחה, שבת מנוחה, שבת מנוחה. קידשת ברכת אותו מכל ימים בששת, כילית מלאכת עולמים. בו מצאו הגומים השקט ובטחה שבת שבת מנוחה מנוחה שבת שבת מנוחה יום זה לישראל אורה ושמחה שבת מנוחה יום זה לישראל אורה ושמחה שבת שבת מנוחה מנוחה Shabbat Menucha. We rise for a final blessing as we spend the last few days of this year and look forward to the next year. We wish Adonai Yishmo Tzeitenu Uvoenu Me'ata ve'ad olam. May the Eternal One guard our going out and our coming in, now and forever. Amen. Shabbat Shalom. Do join us next door for Kiddush. Yeah, I like it. It's nice when you really feel like at home.